long week. Welcome to another episode of Conscious Straight Talk with Katie and Lindsay. It's great to see you guys. I've missed you guys this week. It's been a really long week and we've been dealing with some really hard times. Katie very unexpectedly lost her father last Saturday, and it's been really devastating. So in his memory, we didn't have the show Monday and Wednesday, but today I wanted to jump on real quick with you guys, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to sort of talk to you about how to talk to somebody who is grieving. Because the sad, simple fact of life is that we are going to have to go through loss. It's the circle of life. It's part of life. And part of the reason we started this show, or the whole reason we started this show, is to get the conversation going and keep the conversation going. And I know that loss can be really awkward for a lot of us to talk to somebody else about. We can feel very uncomfortable with it. It's hard. Most people don't want to face that has to happen. And then, you go through it, you find yourself in the thick of it and going through it, and it's tough. But, we want you to know, Katie, you're not alone. And if you out there are suffering with grief or loss, or if you have a close loved one who is going through that right now, this show is for you today. I want to talk to you guys about how you want to talk to somebody who is grieving and in this process right now. So the first thing, my first bit of advice is to really just keep it simple. You want to stay short and sweet in these things, because when we're grieving, our brains are just on survival mode. And you have to remember that when you're talking to the person who has suffered the loss. They're in survival mode. They're really not even fully aware of all of the things that are going on through them. They're being flushed with emotion. So keeping it simple is really important. Saying things like, I'm sorry for your loss, or I'm here for you. Just tell me what you need. Very simple, gets your direct point across. Reminding them that, their lost one is at peace now, and guiding them from above. And just really simply getting that fact across, that you are there for them, whatever that looks like for them, however they need it. Now, my second tip, and this is more me, and I know this can be cultural with some people, but for me, I'm just a feeder. And so when somebody that I care dearly for is going through a loss, I will constantly be bringing over food. In fact, I'm sure Katie and her family put a ton from me this week, because every time I talk to them, have you eaten? Are you staying healthy? Are you okay? Because when we go through periods of grief, it's really easy not to eat for a while, not even realizing what you're doing, because you're hurting so much. So that's why it's important as, the supporting members of this community for people going through grief, that we do keep the food flowing, that we do keep food there for them, and good food too, nourishing food, things that, I brought over matzo ball soup. Chicken soup is a great thing to bring over. Salads, pizzas are always a great comfort food. Different kinds of pastas are really good in these times. So, and always vegetables always make you feel better too. I know you don't like to hear that, but that's the truth. So my third tip is to be really honest, okay? Because at the end of the day, people do appreciate the sincerity and the honesty. We all know going through the grief process is not fun. It's horrible. And calling attention to that, saying, hey, you know what, this situation stinks and I'm sorry. There's, nothing we can do about this. It just stinks. Sometimes just that simple acknowledgement, just being there and just being honest with the person and saying this is a terrible time, and just crying with that person, or helping them cry, or letting them scream and get their angers out, or whatever that flood of emotion is that's going through them. It's okay to say, I wish I had the right words. There are no good words in a situation like this. And to just identify with them on that level. I think that's really important to the person who's grieving, just to feel understood, to feel accepted, and to hear those things. Another great tip is to tell stories about the loved one, or to even ask the person who's going through the loss to share their favorite memories, their favorite stories, look up pictures together. Really take the time to honor that person and allow the person that's grieving to honor that person and feel what they need to feel, what they're going through, and to really be able to say goodbye, So, but yeah, telling stories and looking at photographs and maybe calling some old friends, those are definitely great ways to help somebody that's grieving and sort of keep a conversation going, because you want to keep them talking. We don't want someone who's grieving to start isolating. We don't want them to become a recluse and not, be able to function in society anymore from that pain. When we are a community, we can look after each other. We can keep this conversation going. And even just a small, hey, I'm thinking of you. This is a tough time. Anything you need. That can literally change a person's day. The person that's grieving, that can be the one thing that they hold on to and that gets them through that day. And it was a simple little sentence from us, right? Does that make sense to you guys? So the next tip I want to share with you guys is to really just be present. You want to really be present, and because the griever, as I said previously, is going to be going through so many different emotions. They're going to be crying, then laughing, then angry, then, hungry, then, and then all back again, right? You go through the myriad of everything. And so being present, being able to jump with them and just be accepting, and be prepared to just weather whatever their needs are, that's really important to the person that's grieving. You need to remember that you're lucky to have them and they're very lucky to have you. And it's hard times like these when we really do figure out who our true friends are, who the people are that will show up for us and help us when we need it. So it's an important time. Being present really does help. And just being aware of that, like knowing that, okay, I'm walking into this hard situation. I need to be prepared for whatever they're going to throw at me and be there to the best of my ability. And lastly, guys, I just want to discuss that there really is no timeline with this. You can't say, oh, well, she lost that person last week. She'll be fine this week. It's no problem. Excuse me, because the reality is there is no wrong or right way to grieve. Somebody could get over it in a week. Somebody else might take 5 years before they ever start to feel whole or normal again. And that's okay. One person really, truly cannot tell another person how to manage their deepest pain. That's not our job when we're talking to somebody who's grieving. What we need to do is open up to them. How can we help them? What do they need? Right? Because their journey is going to be different than ours. Their needs are going to be different than ours. And this is like the situation with the love languages where you can't treat them as you would want to be treated. Right? You need to look and see what they need and listen to them, being present, hearing them, supporting them. Realistically, the support and the acceptance during this time is what someone who's grieving really needs. Just that acceptance, that knowing that they're not alone, they can act out, they can get out their emotions and their feelings however they need, instead of holding it in to cause all those other limiting beliefs that we'll talk about in other sessions. But I'm going to leave it there for today, you guys. Our thoughts, our prayers, our hearts are with Katie and her family as she goes through this week. And as many of us are suffering losses, please reach out. You guys are not alone. And I hope this helped a little bit to kind of get the conversation going and to open up a little bit more love and understanding for each other as we all go through our own journeys and our own processes. All right, you guys, I hope you have an amazing weekend. Have a great day. I wish you peace and love, and please take care, and we'll see you back here on Monday. Okay?